Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Marco D'Angelo and Dave Koken. All right, gentlemen, let's talk Sunday night football. We have the Tennessee Titans at the Green Bay Packers. I've got my WagerTalk odds screen open. It looks like this one opened minus 456. Now we're seeing some Green Bay minus 3, minus 120, even some Green Bay minus 3.5 plus 100 with our friends over at the Westgate. So kind of could shop around here depending on which side you look over that key number of 3. Dave, I'm going to go to you first. I don't necessarily know I want to get involved here, but I do know that there's some playoff implications here in terms of home field advantage for the Packers.
Well, and it's a big game for the Titans as well. Um, I have never been a big believer in seeding. And I know I've said this many, many times over the years. I think the fans and the media pay more attention to that than the players actually do. The Packers, they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win the division. I'm sure they'd like to be the number one overall seed, but I don't think it's the be-all and end-all for them. So I think maybe there's a little bit of an edge for the Titans there. And I also think that for whatever reason, and I can't explain what it is, the Packers just have more appeal, certainly as a public team, than the Titans do. The Titans are, you could almost say, somewhat under the radar, despite the fact they're having a great season. When you hear about the top quarterbacks in the league, Ryan Tannehill never gets mentioned, but the guy's throwing 66% with a 28 to 5 touchdown interception ratio, and they've got, without question, the best running back in the league in Derrick Henry. I mean, the guy's got 14 touchdowns. He's averaging. Everybody knows he's going to get the ball. He's still averaging more than 5 yards a pop. And I mean, this is just a dynamite football team. I still think, well, to me, there's no real home field advantage here. Maybe you give Green Bay, I don't know, a point and a half. So do I think Green Bay is 2 to 3 points better on a neutral field than Tennessee? The answer is no. I think it's a dead even game, coin flip going in. To me, if you can get more than a field goal in this game, you got to look to take the dog. Titans plus the points here.
I'm with you, Dave. I don't think I'm going to be getting involved, but I just finished bet on it with Marco, and I know he has a lean in this game where I actually agree with him. If you're going to play one of the sides, this should be it.
Yeah, Kelly, we talked about it on Bet On It, and I'm going a little bit unconventional here. And as Dave said, Green Bay is always going to be the public team. So you're never going to get value betting the Green Bay Packers, that's for sure, especially at Lambeau. But in this particular ball game, we've seen some habits start to develop with these two teams. The Packers in the last few weeks have raced out to big leads, and then for whatever reason seem to go to sleep in the second half with those big leads. And, it's not good for their backers because they've been backdoored 2 weeks in a row. I was on one of those 2 weeks ago, a very fortunate backdoor against when they played the Lions, when they elected to kick the field goal instead of going for the touchdown inside the 10-yard line. Thank you for the Lions on that one. But this is a spot where I'm going to look for the first half wager. And here's why. What Dave said about Tennessee is absolutely true. Tannehill is having a good year. The reason he's having such a good year, and he had a good year last year when he came over to Tennessee, is he's finally got a running game behind him. I've said it over and over again. You give me an average quarterback with a great running game, and he's going to be a good quarterback. You give me a good quarterback with a good running game, and he's going to become a great quarterback. And there's no better running back in the league than Derrick Henry. The thing about Derrick Henry is if you watch the games with him, he is an absolute beast to bring down. The guy he reminds me out, and I'll date myself, and I'll go to Dave. He'll know this one. Earl Campbell. He had the biggest thighs in football, okay? And when you faced Earl Campbell, and I know because I had to face him twice a year, a lot of times with the Steelers, he is a load to bring down. And he was harder to bring down the longer the game went on. Mm-hmm. The more touches he got, the better he was. And that's the same with Derrick Henry. You start the game out, you're fresh, he's going to get the ball, and, you're stacking the line and you're making some tackles. But then all of a sudden in that second half, those 4-yard carries in the first half become 6, 8, 10, 12-yard chunk plays because you're just tired of trying to bring this guy down. And then they go off of play action and Tannehill hits somebody open. So second half, Tennessee, I think, is live in this game, but I think Green Bay is going to get out to another one of those quick leads, and I'm going to take them in the first half -2.5, asking them just to go in at halftime with the lead, given the fact of what they've done the last several weeks with the quick leads. And if you look at Tennessee this season, how many times has Tennessee spotted their opponent big leads? I looked to the Cleveland game a few weeks ago. Go back to earlier in the season against Pittsburgh. They were down huge to the Steelers in that game and come roaring back and was just a field goal away from sending it to overtime at the end of the game, and they missed the field goal. This is a team that plays better in the second half, and I think that's just because Derrick Henry, as good of a weapon as he is a better weapon in the second half. So for me, to start the game, I'm going to go ahead and take a play on Green Bay first half wager. And then watching that game, I might jump into a little second half live betting with Tennessee. See how that first half works out.
All right, great stuff from Marco and Dave. Make sure you guys head over to our WagerTalk YouTube channel. Check out all of our Sunday NFL games as well as our bowl videos.